Welcome to the Makeup and Beauty Podcast, where we talk about all things makeup and beauty with a dash of fashion and pop culture. I'm your host, Cmichelle, and let's jump right into it. Hello, and welcome back to the Makeup and Beauty Podcast. I hope you had a refreshing weekend, and I hope you've been enjoying the guests so far that have been on the show. Well, today we're going to have another amazing guest that I will introduce in just a second. We have some amazing beauty news, and we have a new product of the week that I'm excited to share with you guys. So, about our guest. Her name is Denitra, and she is an image consultant based in Detroit. She helps women create their style and define their style. And she herself has an excellent sense of style and an extensive knowledge in fashion. I'm so excited for you guys to meet her and hear all about her journey in the fashion industry. But before we jump into the actual interview with Denitra, let's get into the product of the week. My Hourglass Vanish Stick Foundation has been my go-to product for the last week. I just keep reaching for it. I love this foundation because it gives me that perfect, flawless, on-camera look. Period. So this is quite expensive. It's about $49 or $46 for the product, but I mean, it's good. I would repurchase it again. I'm almost finished with this one, and I've had it for a while. Okay. So again, this is definitely a repurchase. I am the shade Warm Almond, and this stuff is just flawless. It's a thick foundation though, so a little goes a long way unless you want that full face, honey. Unless you want that full coverage and you want that full glam, this foundation will give it to you. I know some people like to wear it that might have hyperpigmentation, acne spots, because it would really cover it easily. So again, you can definitely sheer it out. You don't have to apply it so thick, but I love it. It comes in 32 shades. It's a natural finish and it's very long wearing. It's cruelty free and it's vegan. So it's described as a weightless, waterproof foundation with long wearing, concentrated coverage in a custom triangular component for fast and easy full coverage on the go. It's $48. I know it's quite expensive, but I mean, that's kind of the going rate for the foundations now. I mean, you have Pat McGrath that's $64, Lisa Eldridge that's $68. These foundations are getting more and more expensive. So yeah. Let me know if you guys have tried it by emailing me at podcast@Cmichellestyles.com or sliding over in my DMs at Cmichellestyles. So before we jump into what's new in beauty, I would like to thank my latest reviewer, DG August 81. Thank you so much for your review. It meant so much to me, and thank you to whoever has been reviewing and liking. It helps the show grow and helps it reach more listeners, and I appreciate the love and support so much. So let's get into what's new in beauty. There's always something new that's going on, and I am here for the tea. So number one, there have been some new direct to consumer brands or companies coming out, one being by Beauty Pie. So Beauty Pie is created by a woman who founded Bliss and Soap and Glory, and she sold both companies. And now she's coming out with Beauty Pie, which is a cutting out the middleman type of company. So instead of all of the packaging and all of that jazz, you're getting the product without the markup. And it says beauty is only skin deep, so why pay through the nose? This year, cut out the middleman and the ridiculous retailer markups. The brand is Beauty Pie, for example. So whatever you buy is Beauty Pie's Healthy Skin Serum or Beauty Pie's Vitamin C. So that is their brand. They're only in the UK and the United States right now. So what's in the starter kit? You get 4 of the best-selling skin and body care formulas. You get this exclusive kit plus amazing insider prices for the entire year. So you get the Japanese Fusion Pure Transforming Cleanser. You get the Micro Peeling Super Drops. You get the Ultimate Anti-Aging Cream and the Brightening Body Lotion. And it has vitamin C in it. You know, this is interesting to me because I really did like the Bliss products. And Soap and Glory was great too. So it seems like, she's very well versed in what she's talking about. So she came out with Beauty Pie. So, get your piece of the pie, pun intended. Okay, anyway. So there's another direct to consumer program called Neen. So this is by the lady that owned Stila Cosmetics. She owned Stila and then she sold it to Estee Lauder. And she has come out with her own subscription-based situation also. On her site, it's called wearneen.com, and this is the first ever makeup subscription card. So it says subscribe to get a monthly Neen card. You'll get a card with 5 new looks and 5 actual makeup swatches. Scan the QR codes for the looks you like and check out easily. Can't wait to see how you make it your own. Neen is for everyone. Cool. So it says you can sign up here and get a free card. So it looks like you can get the testers on the card, try them, see how you like them, and if you like them, you can order it direct. It sounds like a great way to not get a whole bunch of returns. That will add to the sustainability part. People only buy it if they like it. Like, you can test it out from the swatch. It seems like from the card I'm looking at, it's eyeshadows, maybe a lipstick. Probably not going to have that many SKUs to begin with. I'm assuming just from the card, maybe 5 SKUs to start, unless she has a variety of cards she's going to be sending out. But that's really interesting. So let me know how you guys feel about subscriptions and all of that. And are you interested? I mean, the more I read on them, the more I'm kind of interested. But the information to both Beauty Pie and Neen will be in the show notes, so you guys can check those out. Some other news that I want to share because it just makes me proud. It just makes me happy. A girl from Michigan who I know personally, her name is Tahirah Hairston. She is the new and the first editorial director of Tropicals. How cool is that? So it says the Gen Z skincare brand Tropicals has also created a new position. It has appointed Tahirah Hairston its first editorial director. After her stint as Teen Vogue's fashion and beauty director, she has written for Complex, Bon Appetit, British Vogue, The Wine, Vogue, The Cut, Vulture, Refinery 29, and Garage Magazine as well. Go girl. Go Black Girl Magic. I am just so happy to see it. Proud moment. Proud moments in the Black girl community. Proud of you, sis. Congratulations. Okay. So right after the intro to the show, you are going to hear my amazing interview with Denitra. I hope you guys enjoy it. Stay tuned. Welcome, Denitra, to the Makeup and Beauty Podcast. We are so happy to have you. How are you?
All is well. I am so excited to be here. How are you?
I'm good. I love your look. You look absolutely fabulous, which totally makes sense because you're an image consultant. So tell me, so she has on these fabulous glasses, you guys, and her hair is just like all picturesque to the side, and like her lipstick is perfect. And what lip color do you have on?
This is everyone's favorite Ruby Woo by MAC.
A classic,
I
a
pulled out
classic.
my red for you, Sadasha, because you know I'm not a red girl.
I love my reds, girl, but it looks really good on you.
Thank you.
Really good. So tell us, how did you get started in fashion and just a little bit about yourself?
Well, again, my name is Denitra. I am the owner of Unforgettable You, which is an image consulting company. And I got started over 10 years ago, actually. I've always been into style. I'd like to say that I'm more into style than fashion. And there is it's a huge difference to me. I've always been like a champion of women, and I just think that what I do in my job, image consulting, is like way deeper than fashion. We get into self-esteem coaching, we get into a little bit of counseling because I
Okay.
do have like a psychology social work background, and we just delve into who you are as a person versus who the world tells you that you should be. So, Unforgettable You, like I said, is an image consulting company. We do wardrobe styling, we do personal shopping, we do public speaking about image. mentoring, and the list goes on. But again, to reemphasize, we do more of style versus fashion.
I do want to dig a little deeper into the style versus fashion part and just the image consulting part. So you listed some great differences. Is there anything else that you maybe want to elaborate on as far as the differences between the two?
Sure, you and I growing up, I'm sure you could relate to this. Um, the world, the media,
Mhm.
sometimes our family, everyone has an opinion about how you should look. And so kind of combating that and forcing literally women to dig a little bit deeper to find out who they are. And I'm just a huge believer that what's on the inside comes out. And so when a client comes to me and asks about fashion, I immediately try to redirect them to get better acquainted with themselves, because your insides will tell you how you should present on the outside. And so, working with a client to really, really gets them to know what they like, why they like it, and then have that translate into their style. Because fashion is a bunch of trends. You know what I mean?
Right.
Style will last always. So if you get into the style of who you are, and that includes your personality, what you do for a living, our past sometimes, and then our aspirations. All of that is included in style. And so if you get to know all of those things, you really will discover your personal style.
So that's a really good way to look at it because when I think of fashion, I always thought of it mostly as like style. But when you really think about it, style is based on an individual person. So I can have my own style, but maybe incorporate a new trend or whatever into my style. That fashion doesn't mean it's my style per se, or like the thing that makes me me. That's
Absolutely.
really, really cool. That's a great way to think of it from here on out.
Fashion is people telling you how you should present. Style is you telling the world who you are and how you present. There's a
Yes.
huge difference.
Huge. I mean, that's a quote right there. Note to self, quote that. Okay. So, what would the customer experience be, or what would a client experience be hiring you to be their image consultant? From, I don't know how detailed you want to get, but like from start to finish, from contacting you to, just the whole gamut.
Yeah, so I've developed a process over the years that it's easy for me and easy for the client. And that is simply let's talk first. So I do a consultation, a very brief consultation, a 30-minute consultation. So we talk to discover, number one, whether we're going to be a good fit. And number two, once we discover, yeah, we're a good fit, we can work well together. Now let's see really what you need. A lot of times people come to me and they think they need to, just shop and get rid of everything that they have. And I don't operate like that initially. I work with what you have first and see if we can rework that, because, another huge portion of my business has revolved into sustainability. So I'm a huge, huge advocate for um, not
Repurposing
being,
fashion. Yeah.
wasteful and
Hmm.
recycling what we have in our closet. And so one of my most popular services is a wardrobe remix section. And so we over the last years, we've developed a virtual session, because of what's going on in the world, the
Yes.
pandemic. I hate saying that now, but
I know.
yeah, but so we've been able to rework it in such a way that we can do it virtual. So that's recreating outfits from your existing wardrobe. So yeah, so we discover what exactly it is that a client needs. We stick with them along the process, and even after a client has access um, to consult with me and to ask questions over a certain time period, so I don't leave you hanging. Um, so So it's a consultation. We decide on what service you need. We complete that service, and then it's a good follow-up. And I am proud to say that 80% of my clientele, they are returning clientele. So it's kind of
Awesome.
it's a great thing because we really, really get to know each other and working with each other so often. So I'm really, really proud of that aspect of my business.
That's amazing. Say, for instance, if you do the consultation and you see like, okay, like you have some nice pieces, like we can repurpose a couple of these things, but I can see you need the following. Would you shop for me or would we go together? Like, how would that go?
It depends on the client. Like I have some clients who absolutely want nothing to do with the shopping process.
Yeah.
And so I shop for them according to, what they need, what my suggestions are. Um, and again, because of the pandemic, I've developed another wonderful virtual aspect to the personal shopping where some clients just like to shop online. And
Mhm.
so I've developed a system to where I find things that they can purchase online, and I create fashion boards for them with shoppable links. So they're able to shop at their leisure. And so absolutely I will shop with you. And this opens it up to the whole world, right? It's not just locals who I can shop for. Now I shop for people everywhere. So and this time that we're in has introduced a lot of virtual services that we may not have necessarily been eager
Mhm.
to pursue, but it's
Mhm.
wonderful. You can touch the world now.
Have you had like a really impactful client that just like really touched you, or what has been one of your most exciting experiences?
Yeah, I'm thinking of one in particular. We've actually been together over 10 years,
Wow.
and we've grown together. Uh, and so it's just really interesting to see people grow in their style. Um, and just actually last week, we had a closet session because she's getting ready to have a photo shoot. And so pulling some things out, I said, such and such, I never would have imagined that you'd grab that. And she's like, I know you got me out of my shell. So just hearing individuals, women who are open to try new things, who are open to another world of possibilities, even with their personality, right? So, you embrace another style, you embrace another color, and then another aspect of your personality shines through. So it's just amazing to see like the evolution of a person's style. So that's a great example of a person who's been with me. I've been able to kind of chart
Mhm.
the progress and the growth. It's amazing.
So, what would be your style?
I think that as I grow also, my style has evolved. I've always had a component of classic just mixed with eclectic pieces. And so I'd like to say that I'm a mix between classic and street style, if you will. But I can adapt. And that's the thing, I think that we can have our personal style, but then the adjustments come in different environments. And so
Mhm.
are we able to kind of nestle into an environment and still keep our personal style, and your personal style could be one thing one year, and then the next you evolve into this eclectic rock star,
Yeah.
so it just depends. And I really don't like to pigeonhole women
Mhm.
into a particular style, but we can work around like what your main style is and what your main personality is, and kind of integrate and institute some different pieces from different style types. So I'm a mixer.
And that's fine. That's awesome. I think that it's really hard. Like, for example, when someone asks you, describe yourself in 5 words, it's like, Girl, I have like 25 words. I can't just put myself in a little bubble and say I have only 5 words to describe me. That's very, very difficult. Like these bios on social media, they want you to explain your whole life in 140 characters. It's like, what?
Exactly.
I'm so much more than that, right?
Exactly.
So, to your point of styling, it's like, okay, well, today I could be feeling this, today I could be feeling that. But I mean, it's probably like a general base, and then you kind of add to that each day however you feel.
Yeah, we all have our foundation,
Yeah.
and it ain't going anywhere.
Right.
It's not going anywhere, but we can, introduce other aspects and different other aspects from different styles. I think that's really fun. That's where your creativity can be honed. So just keeping an open mind, but still, keeping your foundation and embracing that and building around that.
What would be your advice to a new image consultant or someone that just wants to get in the industry altogether?
To thine own self be true. You could spend countless hours, and I'm not saying, study, I'm not saying not to study your craft, not to do research, but you can spend countless hours looking at another stylist, looking at another image consultant, looking at another makeup artist, and trying to kind of mimic, but you won't be successful. The reason you won't be successful is we all have our unique fingerprint. So my advice would be true to thine own self, find your fingerprint, find your path, and that's how you find your tribe. You know what I mean? Like,
That's
you
right.
find your tribe by being you. And so figure out why you're in this business, number one, because there has to be some value there. There has to be some impact. There has to be something deeper than shopping or clothes. Find that, and then work your business accordingly.
Do you have to kind of stay abreast of the trends, or, do you kind of stay up to date on things like that?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I stay researching trends, but also there's other components. There's fabrics, there's color, there's texture, there are like body ratio things that you have to know. There's lighting, whether your client is doing photography, whether your client is going to be in a film, like you have to know how to work what your client is doing at the time. Like I said, it's not just a cute outfit. You
Mm-hmm.
have to know, absolutely have to know color. You don't have to be a makeup artist, but you have to know lighting. You have to know what a good makeup application looks like. You need to know posture. You need to know body language. Like, all of these things have, and that's why when people say, oh, she's a stylist, I say, no, I'm an image consultant. Image consulting involves image, which is way more than fashion. It just dives into the person's entire lifestyle, if you will. And so yeah, there's a whole lot of difference. So I'm constantly researching. And people love trends. There's nothing wrong with trends.
Mm-hmm.
And so I do have to stay abreast of trends and what I think people may want. Now, is that the entire aspect of it? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. So yeah, you have to study, and it's more than throwing some clothes on someone. It's about body type. It's about um, body ratio. It's about
Mm-hmm.
color, knowing what color is for who. It's about all of that. And so it's not just this fashion thing. Like,
Mm-hmm.
it is really deeper.
Okay, so when you create the fashion boards for your client, do you use, okay, so I don't know if you remember Polyvore back in the day.
Hmm.
So Polyvore, you used to be able to create different sets and have all this access to different looks. So who do you use now, since Polyvore isn't there, to create these boards?
Google.
Oh,
Google has, you can create boards, you can create slides, you can create documents, you can create fashion presentations. Now, you have to obviously do more. You got to do some work, but Google is my best friend. Not just Google and pull some information, but you can actually create fashion boards via Google. And we talked about this before. Why make things difficult?
Yeah. Yeah.
My work I've really automated some systems and made things a whole lot easier for myself. Canva now, you can create presentations, but you just have to know what to do and
In
how to
Canva,
do
yeah.
it.
What is your favorite part in your process for your client? Like for me, when it comes to applying makeup, I love the lips and the eyes. Doing those two parts just makes everything come together and I love it. Do you have a specific part of your service where you're like, I love this, this is my favorite part?
Yeah, my favorite part is helping people realize to work with what they have,
Mhm.
and their faces light up when they're like, "Oh, I never would have thought of that."
Right. You're like, wait, I don't have to throw out my whole wardrobe?
Yeah, they're like, I never would have thought of that, number one. And number two, I never would have put that with that, but it worked. And then when they send me pictures of them in real life,
Mhm.
they're happy. They look, their confidence level is on 100 instead of 50 now.
Wow.
That's when I know that I've like done my job, that I've been effective, is
Mhm.
when it works for them and they see it and I see it. And when they come back, my favorite part is when they return,
Okay.
because that means that we've established a partnership, a lifelong partnership.
Yes.
And it's not a give, it's a give and
Mhm.
take,
Mhm.
because I give my expertise, they give me the results.
Mhm.
Really, they give
Mhm.
me results, I don't give them results. So that's the thing. Once you've engaged with an image consultant, you have the responsibility of taking on like the information. You have the responsibility to execute it literally, really, and then you actually ultimately are responsible for your results, not me. And so when I see results, that's my two thumbs up.
Yes. When I think of the word image consultant and stylist, the one thing that came to my mind is pulling clothes. Use it for temporary basis and return them. I guess sometimes, of course, they can buy them for the client too, but I would think that's more of an image consultant that would actually purchase the clothing for that client. More clear
Yeah.
differences between the two
I think
professions.
I've pulled clothes before. It
Okay.
depends on, what your client needs. But I think more importantly now than anything is to introduce clients to local retailers,
Mm.
where they will actually purchase, because our local retailers are struggling, and so I always make it a point, if I do pull, like, hey, you want to keep this, you want to buy this is from X, Y, and Z, because and I think that pulling for larger fashion houses, I don't see an issue with it
Mhm.
per se. But for smaller, retailers, I would love to see my clients just purchase.
So, what are some of your favorite local shops?
You can get me in trouble.
Uh-oh. Okay. Okay. So maybe
No,
you
no,
tell
no.
me that off camera.
No, no. I won't list them all, but I'm a huge fan of Shy versus Bold. I'm a huge fan of the Peacock Room. I love Flow Boutique, which has been around for a long time, right in the
Mhm.
Cass Willis area. I really, really love Bow Row, which is an upscale resale shop. I like Margot and Max, which is another resale shop in Ferndale. And so those are just a couple of retailers where I've actually pulled from or worked with or where I shop frequently.
And that's so cool you say that because you are all about sustainability. And it seems like from the end of 2021 to 2022, that's all I'm hearing in the industry. Sustainability, clean, eco-friendly. Like Prada and Adidas has come out with this new line from Re-Nylon, which is like a plastic
Yes.
resourced type of recycled material. You know what I
Yes.
mean? So it's like everyone's talking about repurposing. How can we help this earth? And
Yeah.
that's one thing I like about what you said. You're about saying, hey, you still have some great things. We don't have to get rid of much of anything. We can just repurpose it, or we could style it differently, or maybe if it's a shirt, add a belt to it, which
Yeah.
is leads me to another question, which is coming.
Sustainable fashion is actually like a 2022 fashion trend.
Yes, and that's what I was about to say. Exactly. See, you beat me to it. Yes, because I was going to ask you, what do you think the trends are going to be this year, fashion wise?
So yeah, so sustainable fashion, ha ha ha, is a 2022 trend.
Right.
Go figure. But more so the power of the repeat. Like you've heard people say, once I wear it and I take a picture, that's it. Girl,
So wasteful.
wear that again. Wear it different ways. So, power of the repeat, they're really emphasizing that this year.
Mm-hmm.
Vintage fashion is like, most of us who are fashion or style conscious, we've been into vintage, but this is actually
A
a
thing now.
2022 trend. Yeah. And resale. And then the ethical part of sustainable fashion, like people are really getting more conscious about ethics, fashion ethics. And so there are a couple of like local ethical companies, which I'm really, really excited about, like obviously apparel. Detroit Denim, Studio Variously, like these things in Michigan.
Mm-hmm.
Detroit is the new black has some ethical, sustainable fashion there too. But yeah, that's a fashion trend. um, and then power suiting, which I'm like, I love suiting. I wouldn't necessarily wear it. Well, in times past, I wouldn't wear a suiting together, like the pants and the blazer. Like I'm a
Yeah.
blazer girl to heart, but like power suiting is a fashion trend now, but it's with a little twist. So suiting has become more colorful, even
Mm-hmm.
in the workplace. Um, they're using more fabrics, they're using more designs, and these things have become more acceptable now. And with more women starting businesses in the last 2 years, and people returning to work and they're tired of their leggings and their leisure wear, power student has become more popular. So you got
Mm-hmm.
women walking, owning businesses and bossing up in power suits,
I know that's
So
right.
I love it. I absolutely love it. And then looser denim, like the mom jean has really taken off again. And I'm a fan.
Me too, child. Me and my
I'm a
after
fan.
bottom body. Uh,
I had I happened upon a brand actually at Target that fits my body. And so I'm a stick beside them, okay?
okay, what
Um
brand, child?
it's Wild and Fable,
Okay.
actually. So I have 3 pair of those mom jeans. I'm sticking beside it. I'm sticking beside Wild and
I'm about to
Fable,
go to
okay?
Target when I get done with this. Like for real, I have to go anyway. So when you said, I'm like, how does she? Okay, Wild and Fable. I'm checking them
Yeah.
out. And are
Yeah.
they reasonably priced? Because Target can
I
be
don't I don't
expensive.
think that they're over $30.
Okay.
Yeah. Um, Cardigans are making a huge comeback, like the school days. And I love it. I love layering. So I'm really, really excited about, this wardrobe staple like being a trend now.
Right. It seems like they're bringing back a little bit of the early 2000s. Like I remember wearing my sweater sets and it was a matching set.
Yes.
And I
Yeah.
almost gave those away. And I was like, I am so glad I didn't. I took them to the cleaners and everything. I treated them real
Yeah.
good. They're hanging up. I can't wait to wear them again. But those
Yeah.
two-piece sets and just things that aren't so tight fitting, I think are going to
Yeah.
be.
Yeah. So those two-piece sets, what I'm seeing for 2022 trend is the cardigan and then the set, but it's like more of a bandeau versus like the, full camisole type of sets.
Top.
So yeah, it's really fun. And then bright and opulent colors, like really, really pretty jewel tones are making a comeback. You're seeing a lot of reds and blues, and if you've been paying, I'm sure you've been paying attention, but the 2022 color of the year by Pantone is the Perry. So it's a really like
purpley
cool
reddish
twist
color,
between like a periwinkle color.
Yeah.
So it's really, really cool. So those are like the most popular 2020 trends that I'm seeing.
Now, this is probably one of my favorite Pantone colors of the year. It's very Perry. It's like a purple with a red undertone. And I really like that. That color is so pretty. And I think it'll complement a myriad of skin tones.
Absolutely. It's become really, really popular, in interior design. Because, I mean, all of it is, connected. Fashion, design.
So one last question before we get into the fun lightning speed round, which you're probably like, what? So what magazines do you read, or where do you get your fashion inspo from, or just fashion information in general?
So I have to be really, really honest. And I'm not saying this in an arrogant way, but I think that I really do have a gift when it comes to trends and predictions and just like my inner style. Because when I love something, in a couple months it's like, oh, this is it, and I'm like, girl,
I've been there. Yeah,
I've been there. What y'all talking about? But yeah, that's a gift, and I love it because I'm able to help people before it hits the fan, and so they feel like they have a sense of they have a pulse of what's what. But I'm old fashioned when it comes to reading, and I love Essence. I still love Essence.
I am on their website daily.
Yeah, it has our heart, like it has the heart of our culture.
Yes, and since Ebony's gone.
And anything that holds our culture, close to their heart, and I'm just with it. I'm with it. So I love Essence. I love Vogue. I love In Style. I love I just lost, it's the interior design one.
Architectural Digest?
I love I love that because like I was telling you, interior design, fashion, culture, it's all intermingled. And so I can grab that and I'll be like, oh, that color looks great with that, so I'm all about, being very diverse with, my research and what I read. So those are primarily the magazines and the books that I'm into.
I love Essence. And I know Ebony has a online publication now, so I do read that often, but Essence comes through. And another one that comes through, Allure. Allure now has a new Black editor-in-chief.
Yes.
And they started a segment called the Melanin Edit. So I'm like, this black girl get in there, girl, and start flipping tables and making stuff happen. I'm like, okay. So anyway, I'm all for the magazines. That was one of the things I mentioned for like, would be any great gift for a beauty lover. I mean, get something in addition to the magazines. I mean, that's probably like $10. But I'm saying like that.
A gift is a gift is a gift.
You right. Okay, let me stop being bougie. Like, what you give me? That's it? Yeah. Like, I need something else. No kidding. But magazines, especially for a beauty lover, a fashion lover, will take that and just kind of relish in it. Like, ooh, it's constant inspiration.
It is.
Now, are you ready for this rapid fire section?
Yeah.
Okay, so are you a heels or a flats person?
I'm flats now.
Whoa, hold on, wait, pause. Really? Is it because of the panorama?
It's like I'm just all about comfort. Like I still love heels, and it does depend on the outfit. But would I grab a pair, like just ready to go somewhere, I'm grabbing some flatter shoes for sure.
I hear you. You look fabulous in either one. I just always remember seeing you in your heels, girl.
I know, right?
Okay, so what product can you not stop reaching for right now?
I'm using a Trader Joe's facial oil, actually.
Mm-hmm.
Don't ask me the name of it right now because I'm like, this is rapid fire, and of course, my memory is set up. But it's the only facial oil that they have.
Okay.
And I absolutely love it. And I've been using it at night. But I love it. Like it's just everything.
Okay, I will have to look into that.
Yeah.
What is your go-to karaoke song?
And I am telling you.
Okay, you better sing that song. If you could have anyone play you in a movie, who would it be?
Regina Hall.
I can see that. I can definitely see that. That's a great pick. Okay, and what social media platform are you loving the most right now?
Instagram.
And do you like sports?
No.
And last question, what is your favorite color?
Black.
Okay, figuratively and literally. Okay,
yes.
So where can everyone find you?
First of all, I do have a website, www.unforgettableullc.com. Everyone always misses the 2 T's, but there are 2 T's in Unforgettable. So it's unforgettableullc.com. I am on Twitter and Instagram as Unforgettable You, but the 4 is a number 4. So UN4GETTABLEYOU. And then I'm on Facebook under Unforgettable You LLC.
You guys, after every episode, I'm always inspired. I loved what she said about the difference between being an actual stylist and an image consultant. It's so much deeper than I ever thought it would be. So that was such an enlightening highlight from today's episode. I hope you guys learned something. I hope you guys are leaving the show inspired. I thank you so much for tuning in and listening to the Makeup and Beauty podcast. While you're here, check out some other episodes. I would love for you to stick around and subscribe to the podcast, rate and leave a review. It helps the show grow. And last but not least, if you guys want to be on my listserv, I send out weekly news, beauty, makeup, fashion related news to my readers who get the tea first. Come back next Tuesday for another amazing episode on the Makeup and Beauty podcast. Make sure you check me out on all platforms, child, on everything, at Cmichellestyles. Thank you for joining me for beauty and community, and until next time, adios, besos.